What's up, people? What's up? Here again to give you some insight from my perception of life and thoughts that I have in combination of listening to great people and listening to myself. I've come up with different motivations to speak on different subjects. This subject I want to talk about ambitions, your personal ambitions that you have in life. We all live different lives, and you definitely see there's different categories of living out here. I mean, some people just live to whatever, make as much money as they can and indulge in every aspect of this world. Some people live humble, sacrifice lives. There's just different qualities of living. But I want to talk about if you're living from a perception of an individual who has recognized and encountered different difficulties and struggles in their life and has conquered them, and you claim to be more conscious of the years that you spent on this earth as far as where you've been and where you're going and how far you have come. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about people who have recognized the struggles in their lives and have become even stronger through the difficult times in their life. There's different positions that you could take when you face difficulties. Some people, it soaks right into the system, it stunts them, and it just puts them on pause and freeze. It could be for days, even years and years. They'll just be stunted and stuck on different situations they face in life, and they don't know how to come out of it. And the why means in different aspects. And that's fine. People are determined on their different strengths, and that's why we have leaders, and that's why I have influential people to try to help these people get out of situations. But I'm trying to target the people who, are conscious, educated, more aware of life, have a different touch grab system of rationalizing their life in totality. So when you're facing difficulties in your life, it could be on a wider range of things, anywhere from finances, work, to relationships. It's all in the same pot. It's difficulties, it's conflicts, it's havoc. You really got to start to be conscious of what difficulties you're embracing, because there's a lot of things that's going to tax your energy. It's just like when you're not using your phone, it's accessing the internet. When you're not on your computer, it's still accessing the internet. It's using bandwidth. It's using your random access memory. It's still being used when you're not using it. So this is just like life. There's going to be so many little pulling things that are going to try to pull away from your energy. And this is why we catch ourselves fatigued and mentally exhausted, because we're being sucked upon. And a lot of our energy is not being appreciated for the full. It's just being sucked on. It's just negative pulling distractions from the sideline, from behind you, from the corner of you, that extract energy that you need to devote into fully figuring out who you are. Because if you're on that journey of trying to fully figure out who you are, you got to start to be conscious of the distractive difficulties that you start to engage in. Because if you find yourself in a deja vu situation where you constantly arise at the same situation, at the same conflicts, you really need to reevaluate the situation. You need to really reevaluate, is this a lesson I'm supposed to learn? Is this God constantly putting me in a situation to learn something about? Or is this just my human ignorance that keeps going back to a situation or a dead issue that is over and done with and doesn't need to be even entertained anymore? We have a lot of those stuff. It's called using our energy in unproductive, properly ways. And it happens every single day. Sometimes it separates the higher success people of the lower success people. Because you could have success in your heart, and then your success and your potentials and your gifts can really be displayed in this world. It could really have an effect in this world. And a lot of us, and a big portion of this population, is very talented and have very strong gifts that were meant to be shared and expressed and contributed to this world to make this world better. But we get stunted. We get stunted on the micros of this world. Micro emotions, micro situations, micro conflicts. And our confusion in ourselves, because we're always on a guided tour to find our purpose and the best of us, gets stunted because we entertain these unnecessary conflicts and unnecessary issues because we think that this is part of the plan, when it's not part of the plan. It's not part of the plan. It's the plan is for you to start making more decisive choices in how you want to live your life and what direction you want to go. And some of those choices may feel really complicated to you because you may have doubt in yourself, and your faith might not be as strong, and your trusting process isn't as strong. But when you keep arriving at the same distractive negative entities that pull your energy, and the result factor is zip. You go nowhere. There's nothing to gain. But you being more tolerant to a headache, you being tolerant to being more exhausted, you being tolerant to laying your ass on a couch or bed. That's the result of when you keep entertaining negative aspects in this life that have no result factor. There's no outcome base behind the energy that you put into these situations. So me personally, I'm about being better. I don't care what the situation is or how it looks. I'm looking to gain out of it regardless. Whether it's carving my character better or making someone else better or making people conscious. But you know what? There's going to be a point. There's going to be a line that you're going to have to draw where everybody's not going to be on that same page and pathway as you. And you got to make a decisive decision when enough is enough and you're going to move along with your purpose. Because your purpose cannot be fulfilled if you're stunted on negative distractions, unnecessary issues that drain from the power of the greatness that you hold inside yourself. If you claim to have greatness, and that means like great qualities, really good qualities inside yourself that need to be shared and expressed in this world, then you're going to have to know when to move. Because there's a greater cause for who you are in this world. And other people are being deprived of that magic, that gift, that power when you are not making smart, educated decisions on what direction you need to take your life. It's almost like as humans, sometimes we have a duty in this life to make sure that that inner core aspect of us that's beautiful and understanding can be expressed to more people so they can see the hope and the light in this world. Because it's a very dark world out there. It's a very sad world. It's a very bad news orientated world. Everything's bad news. Everything is failure. Everything's gossip. Everything is what's wrong. And we need to revitalize the good. Regardless of circumstances, regardless of our human flaws and mistakes, we're imperfect, that's all good. But you need to know how to view situations for what they are and grow from them. If you're dealing with a person of greatness and you're dealing with people that have a freaking baseline heart to make life better, and the proof is in the pudding, you got to learn how to appreciate that person and give that person the pathway and the opening to display that inner core magic to the rest of the world. These people are a dime a dozen in this world. And a lot of these people, like us, we get distracted. Our energies are unfocused. And my message to you guys is when you're on your path to purpose, you got to start to be really keen to the difficulties that you engage in. That's the discipline. That's becoming better. That's when to know to shut off that reactive, engaged mindset that needs to justify and validate everything that's on the inside of you, because it's totally impossible. It's just not going to happen. And honestly, that's the struggle. So people, the path to your purpose is a personal path. And you're going to have to know when your purpose is calling you in certain directions and when you have to go and leave those negative entities, those pulling distractions that micro the great magnitude of what you're supposed to be into such a small world. And you know what? This is a big world. This is a big world. This world is bigger than your area codes and zip codes. But we get so caught up in the surrounding forces and the surrounding climates around us, we don't forget how great we really are. We forget the potential that we were blessed with to make real differences in this world because we're so micro-communitied that we can't see past our noses. And that's a problem. And you got to be a strong individual to breach that shield of micro-thinking, to get past that boundary, to think higher. It's like the laws of success. And we all fight to get to that point. We all have different points that we're trying to get to, and all our pathways are different. But at the end of the day, you, the individual, has to define your own purpose, make your own moves, and make decisions on when you move in the direction that you're supposed to fulfill within yourself in this life. So with that, be kind, be gracious. Really appreciate your circumstances for what they are. Don't use cliche statements like life is short, or don't take things for granted, because it will come back around to you. You will be tested, and you will be held accountable for those cliche statements that we always say so easily, so smoothly, thinking that it can never happen to us. Don't take it for granted. Don't waste time. Educate yourself. Be better off of every circumstance. Look on the other side, other perception of things from a good, righteous point of view. Life is better. Life is cleaner. Life is smoother. You can embrace your difficulties and appreciate your struggles a lot more instead of just getting freaking headaches, getting bogged down, and running circles around the same thing and being stagnant. Just sitting in a parked car wasting gas. Learn how to drive, people. Let's learn how to drive.